So one of the biggest questions I get from so many people is, how do I take my side hustle and turn it into a legitimate business? All right, I want to answer that question, and I want to give you a few breakdowns and throw a little game to you today, so that as you prepare to get on the other side of Mother's Day, as you prepare for the remainder of this month, and literally you only have 6 or 7 more months left in this year to decide how you want to end 2022. So how do you turn a side hustle into a legitimate business? Well, first and foremost, let me give you my definition of what a side hustle is, or maybe just explain to you, what does it mean to hustle? Okay, I know there's a urban dictionary version of hustling, and we're not talking about like street hustling or illegal hustling. We're just talking about you doing whatever it is that you need to do morally and ethically, and of course legally, in order to make a couple dollars. So for example, you may have a job, and on your days off, you bake or you cook, or you pretty decent with hair and you do your neighbor's hair. Maybe you're a guy and you know how to cut grass, and you paint, and you just do a little work on the side. Maybe you know somebody who just has a business and they just need an assistant or somebody to help them once or twice a week or every once in a while. Well, whatever those things are that you're doing outside of your main source of income can actually be considered a hustle. Now, of course, if you don't have a job and you're just waking up every day scrapping, you work here, you work there, you do what you need to do to make a couple dollars, that can be considered a hustle. But the thing is, just because you're doing certain things that may be entrepreneurial in nature, they may have the form of a business, and they may be a part of business activities, it doesn't really make it a business. And so we're living in a time now more than ever that you gotta be willing to do the work in order to legitimize whatever your hustle is. Now, let me give you a few reasons why, good and bad, this is critical for you to do, and you got to do it right now. Number one, millions upon millions of people are resigning from their jobs and leaving the workforce. As a matter of fact, there was a report that just came out this week that showed over 4.5 million people resigned, quit their jobs, and left the workforce in March alone. And there are probably 12 to 13 million estimated vacancies in the workforce, which means there are about 13 million jobs that people are looking for people to come in and take, but there's nobody to take them because millions and millions of people are resigning, they're leaving the workforce, they're quitting. Now, everybody that's leaving the workforce and quitting ain't starting a business, but there is a large number of people who are getting into entrepreneurship. The problem with that is when you go into entrepreneurship, meaning that when you start a hustle or when you try to legitimize your hustle and make your hustle legitimate business, if you don't understand what you're doing, you don't understand business, you don't understand finances, you don't understand the fundamentals of running a business, like systems and processes, not like you got to be a genius or expert, but just the basic fundamentals of it, then you're almost destined to fail. This is one of the reasons why statistically 9 out of 10 businesses fail within the first 1 to 3 years, and then 9 out of 10 of those businesses fail within 3 to 5 or 7 years at best. So the bottom line to all this is, if you have an idea that you want to turn into a business, if you have a side hustle, or if you're just hustling altogether and you want to legitimize that business because you know there's some potential there, you know it's something that you can do that can make a great impact in your own personal life, in your family, in your finances, and of course in your community, then you've got to go through the due diligence, the process that is needed and necessary for you to legitimize that business. Now, one of the positive sides of doing this is, I believe every family should own a business. Every family should own a business. The truth is, when you can't own a car or a house, guess what you can own? You can own a business. Have you ever thought about that? Like literally, you may not even be able to own a car or own a house, but you can own a business. You might not be able to own bling and diamonds and designer clothes, but you can own a business. I think that's powerful. And the truth to all this is, in the United States of America alone, there are 32 million registered businesses, which means there are at least several million people who understand the importance of owning a business. And so I believe every family should own a business. And depending on what community you're a part of, like the Black community, if you come from the hood, if you really hadn't had a whole lot and you've been disconnected and disenfranchised, it's even more of an important necessity for you to have a business. I don't think it should be an option. I think it should be a necessity. It should be mandatory, because your business is actually your legacy. The goal is for you to start a business, for you to run your business activities and transactions through that business at some point. And then as you build that business, you take assets, whether these assets are physical assets or not physical assets, whether they are intellectual property assets, physical property, whether it's copyrights, trademarks, whether it's certain things that you have created. You want your business to own those assets so that you're not waiting to leave your family a job, but you can leave your family a business, which is a part of your legacy. But while you're living, while you're here, we want to get you out of scrapping. We want to get you out of just the daily grind, because I know what it feels like. See, I come from the hood. I come from nothing. I come from this world of just street hustling, not really understanding the bigger picture of business. But once I started understanding the way business worked, I realized very quickly that I needed to go from hustler, because that's what I was at one point, a hustler, and I wanted to become a business owner. What I didn't know at the time was that there was a growth process. I call it the entrepreneurial growth stages, that I needed to learn certain things. I needed to develop certain skill sets. I need to adopt a certain mindset in order to take what was considered a hustle as a hustler and make it a real legitimate business as a business owner. But now, as you begin changing your mindset and developing your skill set, you're going to go through this entrepreneurial phase. And this phase is really what's going to teach you how to do the basic fundamentals that any and every business owner has to have the ability to do. And this is about sales, it's about marketing, it's about communication, it's about relationships. It's about all of the things that are going to determine the success and the failure of your business when you finally become a legitimate business owner. See, a lot of people have the wrong idea about owning a business, because what they do is they get their EIN number, they get their articles of an organization with their LLC, they open up a bank account, they get their logo, you know, all the stuff we do. We get all this stuff done and we swear up and down. We just think, oh, we own a business. The truth is, you don't really own a business, because a business is not just a legal entity on paper. A business is actually a business system. It is a set of systems and processes that you have put together and you've packaged in this legal entity that you're able to go to the market with products and services, sell those products and services, and continue to grow that company, that entity out. But how are you going to have a legitimate business, if that's what a business is, if you don't understand things like sales, marketing, communications, relationship, if you don't understand things like finances, if you don't understand things like operational procedures? These are things that you cannot operate and run a successful business without. You have to have these things. This is one of the reasons why most people stay in the hustle phase. So they have good days, they have bad days. They have long seasons, they have short seasons. They have moments where they see a high, then they have moments where they see a low. In other words, their graph looks like this, and most of the time it's looking like that. It's continuing to go down because they're stuck in the hustle phase. And then you have this group who go to the entrepreneur phase, so they learn about making exchanges, they learn a little bit about marketing, they know how to get in front of a camera, get on social media, they know how to talk to people, they start communicating, building relationships, they start making a little money, they start building a little operation, but they stay solo. Either solopreneurs, self-employed, and they never make the conversion over of owning legitimate businesses because they don't understand in order for them to own legitimate businesses, they actually have to take all of these skill sets that they have in this process, develop the mindset to learn about and to educate themselves on and to grow and to develop. And now they've got to turn those skill sets into systems and processes within an infrastructure. So I want you to understand that it's not impossible for you to be a successful business owner. It's not something far away and far-fetched, because your potential has already showed you, especially if you're out there hustling and you have these entrepreneurial tendencies, and you may even have a business, but you find yourself glitching, meaning that you keep finding yourself hitting a brick wall. You can't figure out why you can't be consistent and why you can't grow. You're trying to do it all yourself. You don't have help. You don't have support. You don't have the resources. And what you really need is just a reset. You need some business reset so that you can take all of the meat of what you have developed in your mindset, all of the meat of what you're developing in your skill set, and package it in an infrastructure with systems and processes that make sense.
Welcome out of my show. Welcome out of my show. I had 2020 vision. Back to the basics, yeah. True than religion. I perked out on a regular basis, yeah. I was praying for my dog. He was fighting all the cases. Told me if anybody gon' make it out, you gotta make it. So mama said to never keep my head down. So many wins, I had to take losses. I walk with God through them trenches. I don't fear now. Took a chance and now we some bosses. Everybody wanna cheer, yeah, they here now. They don't really know what it costs. In the crash test, I don't even stare now. If my God call it, I'm on.
You want to be a millionaire? Well, I'm making it real easy for you because I'm giving you my personal playbook that I've used to go from hood figure to seven figures. It's called the Millionaire Blueprint. This is an online business and financial wealth building system that I know works because I've used it to become one myself. Now, in this wealth building system, I'm teaching you about starting and structuring holding companies, creating divisions, subsidiaries, how to reallocate pre-tax dollars into other operating entities. I'm teaching you creative tax strategies, how to minimize your taxes, maximize your deductions. I'm teaching you real estate investing on how to take earned income and active income and convert it into passive income. I'm also teaching you sales, how to create a sales process, a sales cycle, how to create a script. I'm teaching you marketing, goal setting, scheduling, pricing of products, product development. This is a very, very, very detailed business and financial wealth building system. Click the link